I've noticed this game is unfortunately a little formulaic.
Hmm?
You know, it's always new teacher, go talk to them, gain their insight, move on.
Well, every single building is like a little mini dungeon where you fight a number of creatures, you find some items, you maybe solve a puzzle or two.
And some part of me appreciates that just because, you know, it's comfortable. But on the flip side, it is also very...
I mean, isn't every... I would say many fantasy adventures, including things like Zelda and stuff, have that formula. Where you have an overarching quest, but you have to one by one meet different peoples, different kingdoms, different regions, and they all have an issue. They have something that needs to be solved. And you solve it for them. And then they decide to ally themselves with you, or give you the super secret special item that you needed to complete the MacGuffin of many different parts in order to fight the big bad in the end. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in this, it's just a scavenger hunt of information, where you're going from one location to the next, unlocking new abilities that help you progress further. So are we supposed to find the key?
We're supposed to go through that gate. I'm just getting distracted because... there's hats. To be maybe purchased. Ooh, these are some pricey shoesies. I give up.
Use the garden keys. Ooh, the gardens.
This place is beautiful. The gardens is my favorite place in the whole school.
So we're looking for the gardener, Professor
Everlay. She rarely leaves the gardens.
This was her and Aildra's big project before Aildra became headmistress.
She must be here somewhere.
Bees!
Bees and a butterfly.
Bees. What do you have for me, bees?
Do you have a personal vendetta against bees?
I mean...
When
it's not a vendetta.
When we first met, your arm was sorely
So that's
infected.
yellow jackets, but my experience with stinging creatures has been... To be entirely honest with you, stingy creatures are the single most damaging creature to my existence so far. So... it shouldn't be that much of a surprise. Because I got stung in the hand, but that was yellow jackets. I got stung in the arm, which got infected, but that was still yellow jackets. I got stung in the jugular, which was very unpleasant.
As far as I know, bumblebees are less likely to sting than wasps.
Yeah, bumblebees only do it as a last resort. Wasps are mean suckers.
That's because wasps can survive it, whereas I think
Bees
honeybees
cannot.
and bees,
Yeah, it pops out.
they die.
It's not good.
They tear their abdomens out.
And so, now that I'm older and I realize just how necessary honeybees are, I've kind of forgiven them.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I could do without wasps. And hornets and yellow jackets.
Mm-hmm.
They just seem like creatures that need to tone down.
Mosquitoes are worse.
Yeah, they are.
I'm trying to think of, what animals have harmed me the most? I'm thinking on that one.
Lions.
Nah. I don't recall ever being really scratched or bitten by a cat. Dogs have definitely broken my skin before, but they were little nasty ones. What other things? Birds?
What am I doing? Isn't it obvious? I'm looking for sharks.
Wait, is it the shark guy again?
What? You don't think a small shark can fit in here? Whatever. What do you know about sharks?
Yeah, I haven't had any issues with birds or fish. Not really for snakes. There was one lizard that chomped on my finger and wouldn't let go. That I'd caught out in Arizona.
Yeah, but you did that to yourself.
Oh, by catching the lizard?
Yeah, you caught the poor sucker.
Yeah. It was weird though, because I actually did lift my finger up at one point and he was just dangling bodily from it. I was going, okay, please, lizard, will you let go? Oh, so this is Everlay. Also has green hair.
The headmistress visiting me in the gardens. What an honor. Don't tease. I wish I could visit more often, but there's so much work to be done. And now this thing with the summer stone. You look so tired, Bod. You're overworking yourself. You need to delegate. That's also part of your job, you know? I know. But I think something dangerous is coming. Bod, I mean it. I can feel it. I just had to make sure that you were safe here. I believe you. And I'm fine. But you can't protect everybody. Not on your own. I can try. I made the mistake of letting my guard down once. It won't happen again. Just please take care of yourself too. I have to go. Are you going to the room? You're using it a lot these days. I have to. I don't have time to be like this. I have to be better. I love you. You know that, right? I know. Oh, it's the whole Star Wars, I know. I'm sorry. Thank you for looking after the gardens. They're more beautiful than they've ever been.
Hey, there's a treasure chest up there.
Can't get to it.
Oh, you can't?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
Gotta do puzzle solving.
Well, there's a lot of these leaf symbols. Oh, but there's more of the balls.
Puzzle solving. Bees.
Bees. Victory. And I suppose I haven't been around farm animals enough to have actually been harmed by one.
Yeah. I usually stay away from farm animals. I don't know.
There was that goat that was using me as a scratching post, which was
Yeah,
funny.
I think I'd be pretty cool with goats.
Goats. Well, okay, you don't want a goat that would actually butt you, though.
True. But, like, most goats I've experienced have not,
Oh, what? Is it the mushrooms that are in the way?
Yeah, oh.
No, there's purple mushrooms on that side. Red mushroom. Oh, there you go. You got it.
Yep, there are pressure plates behind the
Eh.
benches. I really like the music in this area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very pleasant. Do you have any more of the balls to move around? Or oh, there you go.
do.
Float stone. Who's this person on the bench?
I know I'm supposed to be in my room, but it's just so cramped in there. And there are no cute bugs to make friends with like here.
Oh no.
It's okay.
It's because of the flow. Oh. Well, it
Oh.
released something, but now it's lost.
It's okay. It just wants me to go over here.
Oh. That's cool. Okay. Now even means to get to the ball.
It's a puzzle. You know, honestly, after playing The Room, puzzles in other games just feels kind of...
Well, the thing is, you always have to work within the grounds of the graphics and the physics
I know.
of the game. There you go. Yeah, because this you have to pay attention to the currents and...
I guess after the age of, like, 10, I think I got to the point where, like, puzzles in games like this... I'm not going to say it feels like I'm being talked down to from a game design perspective, but it kind of does.
But it's giving you a different form of gameplay.
Yeah.
Because the reason
It's a change of pace. I get it.
The reason why I liked puzzles so much in The Legend of Zelda is because it was a combination of figuring out how to move things around, but then also using the items that you acquired.
Legend of Zelda always did it relatively well, though. There was a little bit more complexity to it. This is just kind of arbitrary key swapping with some extra steps. I guess I just think about Final Fantasy 13 often. I think I should go back and actually, like,
13?
play it.
Never
Yeah,
played it.
I've never played it either, and I think my biggest...
I only saw
reason
the very beginning of it, and it just seemed like one long cutscene
and
separated by a single battle.
And, you know, I'm not actually sure if that would be a bad thing. Now that I'm older, I think I've found out what I want to play next, not as like a recorded series, but as just like a me playing a game thing. Because people lampooned that one, but the older I get, the more I'm kind of like, yeah, but maybe that actually isn't such a bad idea.
But then why don't you like watching movies then?
Because most movies have really boring stories.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think a movie is long enough to really get the plot in for a lot of stories.
Then you might prefer television shows.
Yeah, I do. The problem is most television shows are canceled before they get good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with the video game, if it's like 40, 50 hours long, that's a lot of time to pack story in. Most games just fluff it out instead.
Time, you've played tons of games where there's barely any story to be
Correct.
had, and you spend hours doing the same thing.
Well, you mean like Factorio. Well, because the core gameplay loop is fun. But, Final Fantasy VII is probably one of the best examples. That game really didn't waste a whole lot of time ever. There was like a couple moments and times where it was kind of slow and or we were frustrated, but otherwise, like, it was a good story-ish. I don't know. But, like, I liked that you got deeper into that world and it actually had the time to tell it.
I've looked everywhere. She's not here.
Why do I have a feeling that...
It's the golem, isn't it?
Yep. This is that garden we saw in the cutscene earlier. Ah, right on time.
Now this will be fun.
It's a rock. But I like the idea of movies, but how many movies really feel like they get deep enough into the lore and the story and whatnot?
Oh, some do.
Some do, most don't. Owie.
Yep. This does say gardener.
Please go away.
So what did you place on the ground there?
Trap.
Mm-hmm.
Because these traps actually prevent them from taking their turn? Are you kidding me?
I was throwing a bowling ball. Bowling boulder.
Just... He hopped over my trap.
Mm-hmm.
That's... just rude.
Veggie stew.
And,
And a prize flower.
Poppy. Oh, but what if I... Not meteorite. What if I do this? Can I get him to land on the trap by punching him into it? Nope.
Oh.
That was worth a shot.
I hope the enemies don't perceive of the traps. Or do they?
They don't. I think
Oh,
kind of
there's a merit one.
the AI kind of makes them avoid it.
Because if it wasn't aware of him, it would have gone forward. Unless it's going off to the side because of the flowers. And you destroy the trap.
Happens.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. What was I talking about? Right, linearity and storytelling and whatnot. I don't know. I think mainly
Well,
it's...
you were talking... You got to talking about this because of puzzles.
Well, yeah, kind of. It's that... I wonder sometimes when games get kind of cross-genre. Or... You know, story games, for example. Most story games... The gameplay loses me after a certain point. That the story is too long compared to the quality of the mechanics. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That, I mean, for this game, for example, we got pretty used to the battle system fairly fast. You know, and at this point, we pretty much know how it works. There's not a whole lot of ambiguity here.
Uh-huh.
And so at this point, I'm only doing the boss fights because ultimately they're the only thing that's passably interesting. And even then, we're just kind of used to it.
But turn-based combat, I think, always suffers from something like this.
It's hard to do it well. I think you need deep character customization and some other things to really make it interesting.
Whoa!
What the deuce? Bring the bees! The bees have been brought.
I forget if we fought something similar to that before, but it was a different color at the time. But no, I appreciate there being different varieties of puzzles in the game.
I do. I think it's just,
Because it allows you to explore a bit more of the
I think
settings.
it's, from my perspective, it's the mentality of just wanting not to get on with it necessarily. Let's see, that should hit 3 of them.
I mean, ultimately, whenever you play a game, isn't it just a series of obstacles?
kind of. Certain games have more engaging obstacles, I guess I would say. Part of the reason why I'm drawn to roguelikes and sandbox games more so is because the gameplay tends to get a lot deeper. Let's see. Rook hasn't even taken any damage yet. There's not really a whole lot of reason to care too much there. Let's see. But so, for most roguelikes, the gameplay, it is the draw, and it's varied enough to keep me super interested. In a way that a game that is more heavily story-focused rarely manages to go for. Because when was the last time you played like a really heavy story-based game where the gameplay was the main draw for you?
Well, the thing is, I would say that we actually really, really enjoyed Murdered by Numbers.
True.
Because we had never played... What was the...
Picross.
Picross? We had never played Picross before. I was going to say Sudoku, but I knew we already... That wasn't Sudoku. It looks similar, but it isn't.
That's an interesting point. I would argue...
By the end of it...
We were kind of tired of it.
Well, also, the puzzles became so difficult that we were spending a substantial amount of time...
Yeah, I would argue...
Plugging through
to some
them.
degree, they didn't come up with Picross. So...
That's true, too. And it was funny when you have characters going, look at this item! What is it? And you had to use Picross in order to figure out what it looked like. But...
Did he step on his own trap? Owie. Worth a shot.
And there are other games where... Have you ever played Card Battlers? Where there was a story around
True. Card Battlers and deck builder card games tend to be quite good. Mainly because you get a lot of customization. That, for me, longer games and RPGs, for example, the more customization you get, the more engaged I am. And
I suppose that's why people grow attached to their Pokemon teams and stuff. Though at this point we've played through the same formula for 20 years and it's getting a little old.
It's why I am constantly mildly begging for character custom, or not character customization necessarily, but being able to actually...
Well, there was that one Kickstarter game that you had backed where you fight as the
So that one might actually be quite good. We'll see how it goes. But like World of Final Fantasy was just such an engaging RPG comparatively. And I've been yearning for more RPGs in that specific sense because it's like, hey, I actually... Oh gosh, darn it, I hate this thing.
Would you say that something like this is more engaging than a Pokemon fight, though, considering you're not just exchanging attacks?
Yes. And in fact, if I could play a
positioning.
Pokemon game with these specific mechanics, I would be singing its praises left and right. Mainly just because, you know, at this point, anything is an improvement. Even if that's not actually necessarily the case. You know, that I should expect more, not just slight improvement. What's a good example? I was talking about this recently. Oh, right. And this is maybe a bit of a hot take. No, I wouldn't call it a hot take. Can you pass me the roller thing?
Defeated the gardener.
But I was talking about the Catholic Church, which, you know, for the most part has been historically anti-gay. And anti-gay marriage, anti-gay adoption, so on and so forth, which, you know, not exactly a particularly modern take, and from my perspective, fairly unethical. But recently, the current Pope... Don't take it away from me, I need it for a bit longer. I'll put it away. But the current Pope has been coming out as fairly pro-gay. slowly. And I think he still has some fairly regressive ideas, but that a lot of people have been lauding him as being progressive, even though, you know, it should just be fairly normal at this point. The main point is just that any progress is seen as positive, even if it's kind of too little, too late, and should be much faster. Kind of same deal sometimes in my head with the Boy Scouts.
Well, the thing with, especially with those religions, is if you start changing their doctrine enough, you
alienate your base. Yeah.
Well, no, not even just that. The question of whether or not the religion is legitimate
also
at
true.
all comes into question.
I remember my Methodist church in North Carolina. The pastor came out as pro-gay, and they sent her elsewhere.
They do that at so many churches. It's despicable.
It was quite sad. Like, half the congregation was totally cool with it, and the other half was just like, no! You cannot be here! And this was like 2002, 2003, you know. Right in the height of... Well, maybe not the height of, but like the last gasp of... Oh, but it's not. We're still in the last gasp of institutionalized homophobia. Whatever. I'm just exhausted.
Mm-hmm. No, it's understandable. But yeah, unfortunately, there's...
A lot of people that don't want to change.
Mm-hmm. All right.
When Bod said that something dangerous was coming, I have a feeling that you were all... Wait, I have a feeling you all are not what she meant.
Professor Everlay, we need your help. Ildra, she needs your help.
Can you take the controller? My eyes are just kind of dry.
Mm-hmm. Wait. Ifig? Is that her name? Ifig Everlay?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it is? Okay.
I fig.
I...
She's a fig.
You're a professor now, Ema. Ifig is fine.
Of course.
What has happened? Please believe us. It's urgent. Don't worry, Petronella. I believe you. Oh. This is my fault. Bodovinia.
Oh, that's her full name, Bodovinia?
Bodovinia has worked so hard to protect this school, and she suffered in silence all these years.
And that's not your fault, Ifig.
In part it is. I've known of her past, her pain. But I did not know how to help her heal, to forgive herself. Pouring herself into her work, into the school. That was her way of coping. For a while, I believed it worked. But it was never a solution. When you spend so much of your life suffering, you become an expert at concealing it. I was complicit, even if, deep down, I knew it would only get worse.
She doesn't know about the sapling, about what will happen. But we can't get to her. Her barriers are too powerful. It pains me to ask you to betray her trust, but I beg of you, if there is a way that we can weaken her, we must know it.
It pains me too. But to save the school, and her, I will tell you. I only hope she forgives me after all this is over.
What must we do?
She had a way of dumbing her pain.
Would it be numbing her pain?
Yeah, probably.
I think, yeah.
A spell she used to draw it from her body, to seal it away.
That sounds like
Blood magic? Huh? I'm surprised you knew that, Perticia. She had a secret room, accessible only through the library stacks. A place that she went when her pain overwhelmed her. Her reading room.
The stacks! I've seen her go in and out before. I've heard it's restricted even to most of the faculty.
The stacks have been closed off for a long time. It is a dark and dangerous place, even for a skilled magician. And with the way things are now, I fear what you may find. But we must go! Please. I cannot stop you. Not knowing that you find her there will help you.
Or what will find you there will help you. Sorry.
But I'm scared of what it will cost her.
We will be careful. I promise. We don't want to hurt her. We just want to free the sapling.
I will tell you the words to enter the stacks. But I will not accompany you. I must head to the spell tower. Odd needs me now more than ever.
You got stacks access. Kitty. You pet the cat. HP is restored. Right. Alright, to stop.
Yeah, I think this is a good stopping point. I'm tired, it's midnight, and that's across the map. Admittedly, we can warp, but still.
I had already saved.
I was safe again. Let us go to bed.